Hi, I'm Liz and I'm an environmental archaeologist and geoarchaeologist at Wessex North here in Sheffield. I'm going to talk to you about geoarchaeology and show you some of the things that I look at. In geoarchaeology, we use techniques and tools from other disciplines like geography and geology to look at sediments so that we can recreate the environment of the past. Then we can think about how humans would have reacted with that environment and lived in it. To collect these sediments, we use a range of sampling methods and machines. One type of sample that we can take without a machine is called a monolith. Now you can see here that someone's placed a piece of drain pipe into a section. They've done that so that they can capture the sediments and their relationship with each other. This sample is brought to me so that I can look at it. For taking samples where we don't have a section and we need to get deeper into the ground, we use drilling machines like these. They hammer down into the ground and loosen the sediments. Then another piece of equipment collects the loose sediment, either in a plastic tube so that I can look at it closely, or in a bucket. Here you can see some of the plastic tubes with sediment captured in them. So whatever the sample is, I open it up like this, and then I clean it with a trowel like this, and then I'll record the different sediments. So some of the things that I look at are the composition, what the sediment's made up of, how much is clay, how much is sand, how much is silt, because those things can tell me how much energy was needed to get the sediment there and how it was transported. So if you've got very fine particles like silt and clay, it probably didn't take much energy to get them there. Then I'll look at the colour, because the darker a sediment is, the less oxygen was around it at the time. So if it's quite dark, I can assume that it was buried quite quickly. And then I'll look and see if there's any archaeological things like pottery or bone or glass, because that tells me that people were around. And I look at stones, so I see if there are any stones, how many of them there are, what kind, what do they look like, because that can also tell me how much energy was needed to get the sediment there and sometimes how it got there. And if they're very rounded, that suggests that water transported them there, so they were sort of rolling around in the water, smoothing them out. And I also look and see if there's anything like wood or seeds or peat, because specialists can analyse these and then they add to the information that we get about the environment. After I've recorded a sample, I can think about what story that tells me about the landscape and the environment, and I can tell how it changed over time, because in geoarchaeology, like in geology, depth equals time. So sediments are laid down over time with the oldest at the bottom building up. So next time you're in your garden or in a park or a field, think about the metres of sediment underneath your feet, stretching back in time as they go deeper and deeper. And think about what kind of story they can tell you.